Welcome to the show Gold Squadron Gays. It's the podcast where two Star Wars loving gays talk about and review their favorite Star Wars content while also being gay as hell. I'm your host, Bradley Brower.
I'm your other host, Charles Rogers, and yes, I know that Wizards of the Coast desperate for money. Yes, I'm aware.
That's the company that used to make Pokemon cards?
Yes, they make Magic Gathering.
Okay.
And I don't know why I said Wizards of the Coast. I think Wizards of the Coast owns CD. Actually, let me double check. This is a bit.
What we're talking about.
Okay, it's both of these. So it's Hasbro that owns it through its subsidiary Wizards of the Coast, which also owns Magic the Gathering. All of this to say, yes, I have seen the Dungeons and Dragons Star Wars official crossover announcement. I am aware that Wizards of the Coast desperately.
What are they? They're just going to make like a game or something? Is that all this is? Like,
I haven't done a ton of research into it. I've seen it, but from what I understand, they're doing this big old partnership where I guess they're doing officially licensed rule books, or like rule books and things, because they're doing one for World of Warcraft too, but they're also doing one for Star Wars.
Right. I was thinking like a rule book or something, but like just themed Star Wars. That's all it could be, right? Like, I'm assuming.
I'm having some trouble locating what exactly it is.
It's just
from cursory Googling, but it's just a partnership. I think that's all we know at this stage. As far as I know, it's some sort of official part. So, hey, did you know I have a Star Wars TTRPG podcast?
I don't think you've ever mentioned.
I don't think I've ever mentioned it once. If you want to hear me play D&D as a Star Wars character named after a Dragon Age character,
perfect.
You should listen to For Light and Dice, a Star Wars TTRPG set in the High Republic era. Bradley also is occasionally a voice actor on it, doing a really good Australian accent.
Although I may or may not be dead, unclear.
I think you are alive.
Okay, I really don't know because Chris has not told me.
But you are not currently relevant. All I'm going to say for now is that we did just do a session that included something of a riff on a show you have worked on.
Oh, okay.
So your spirit permeates everything that we do over at Four Light.
I love it.
Do you see how we're stalling because like we got to fill the episode in time, and there's really not much that we know about the Ninth Jedi TV show?
Okay, well here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
This show, it was. I don't want to say it's being shadow dropped on us, but it kind of is.
It kind of is being shadow dropped on us, which is weird and annoying.
It is really strange. I pulled up the dates and everything. So like, okay.
You mean the data singular?
No, I also date the dates for it's like, so basically what happened was
I thought it was dropping all at once.
It is, but Anime Expo dropped the first episode. There was a panel and they were able to watch the first episode.
Okay.
So technically the first episode aired at Anime Expo, and now subsequently the rest of the season will air on August 5th in America. So August 4th in Japan. So we are 5 days now as of recording. From this premiere. That's why you're getting our episode 0.
It will be 2. Yeah.
And that's why you're getting this. Now, will they drop any more info? I highly, highly doubt. That's why we were very confident in making this episode. We are, because the one trailer I feel like is all they're gonna get, and that's it. Like
one trailer which has just so much jam-packed into this one trailer.
And we need to break it down because there's a lot of weird reveals in here that I feel like spoil the
that's
show.
What I thought. So I'm gonna put a blanket spoiler warning on the rest of this. If you haven't watched the trailer, and you want to go into the series unspoiled, don't watch the trailer. Which I am of the opinion that you should be able to spoil anything in a movie and have the movie still be watchable.
True.
Like, yes, you miss out on the first time ever experiencing something, but you should be able to watch this media even knowing the full plot and still derive something from it. On the other hand, there is a lot of fun in being able to go, oh my god, I did not know that X, Y, and Z. What a surprise. Which I never had the foundational one because I watched the Star Wars movies in reverse order as a kid. So I already knew that Vader was dad in Empire. Spoilers for Star Wars, I guess, if you've never watched the original trilogy. While you're listening to an episode 0 on the Ninth Jedi, if you've never watched Star Wars. But look, Andy from First Steps has really changed my perspective on people managing to avoid Star Wars forever.
I just don't know how it's possible. But I mean, because I just feel like collectively in the zeitgeist of humanity and pop culture, people just know things like Darth Vader is Luke's father. Like there's just you just know these things. Even if you've never seen a Star Wars in your life, you just know these things. You know who Darth Vader is. You know who Chewbacca is. You know who R2D2 is. Like those are just things people know. I feel like I don't know.
There are some people who don't. There are some
I
people who have just
I
ducked it
envy those
forever.
people.
Yep.
I envy them
I
because
also
I would
envy
have more
those
space in
people.
my brain. We need to talk about at least we need to talk just this trailer in general and things that were revealed trailer.
So this is kind of the plot of Force Awakens.
I was just because I just rewatched
I,
it before we started recording.
I also did. Like I was a couple minutes late to recording because I had loaded it up on my phone watching.
Yeah.
And they're building some sort of super weapon out of kyber. The guy
Right.
has a mask and beat through it. There's
Yeah.
laser beams flying everywhere.
There's
There's a
also a
girl
girl
who's
Jedi
doing
who
cool lightsaber stuff. I think she
yeah, like
might go to the dark side because she's holding a red lightsaber at the end of it. And I'm going, are they just doing the sequels again?
right. And I'm like,
What's happening
sort
here?
of, because like, okay, so a couple things that I saw in the trailer that I can point out where there seems to be a very clearly Sith character that Kara's going to be fighting at some because he has a red lightsaber,
Yes.
and she does fight him, and he is. I looked it up, and from what I can tell, out of the quote unquote new character, it is one of because I was like looking at like the cast list, like or the English voice cast on the Wikipedia, and I was clicking the character names to see which ones like because there's four new characters, and I'm pretty like 99% sure that this guy is the Sith character because his thing is just it just makes sense. Like it says he's like the not the general of the villain guy, but he's like the what is he? It says he's an arrogant warrior, confident in his dark side abilities. He was a Sith who pursued the Jedi under the orders of General Nawam, which is our
Which is who
actual
our
bad guy.
big bad is, Nawam,
Right.
who big spoilers for the trailer, big massive spoilers. Can't believe they showed this. They do reveal in the trailer has a blue lightsaber, which if you remember in the lore of the Ninth Jedi,
Yeah.
lightsabers that are crafted by this one specific sabersmith, they change color depending on like the heart and intention. Because we get the shot of Kara and the red lightsaber, and then there's one where like Ethan is holding it up over his head in the Star Wars like Luke Skywalker raised lightsaber pose, and it's turning silver.
Yeah, I'm confused about a couple of things. Okay, so that was one of the ones I wanted to bring up. Okay, so the
I
first
feel like
thing,
they just picked all the punchiest visual moments to throw in this trailer and didn't tell us jack shit about what fuck is actually going on.
well, I'm hoping all this is just the first episode, and that everything we've seen is just all the first episode, and that
Oh
would be
god,
pretty
can you
iconic.
imagine?
That would be
Can you
pretty
imagine
iconic.
if all of this was just episode 1?
Okay, it's probably the first three episodes. Let's be like, if we're gonna be like technical about it, and with maybe a few things sprinkled in. But I think okay, so I can explain away Kara Red. I think that's just like some kind of dream sequence or some
I
bullshit.
also was thinking that some sort of vision
She's
sequence.
just worried about becoming evil and blah blah blah, right? Like, because
Mhm.
that's always
Yeah, because we're
the song
doing
and
Rise
dance.
of Skywalker again,
Yeah, I'm like, it's the same Dark Ray
which in and
vision
of
thing.
itself was doing Empire Strikes Back the Dagobah cave.
I'm like,
Extremely common. This happens all the time.
no, I think that that's an easy explain. The villain having a blue lightsaber, I don't know if I can explain that one
I
as
can.
much. That one's gonna be an more interesting plot line, I feel like.
I think the sense that I got from it is
Mhm.
that it represents the heart of the like wielder, and I think from what I get the sense of Nawam genuinely believes in what
Okay, that's a good little
genuinely
twist.
thinks
Yeah.
that what he's doing is good, genuinely believes that he's doing the right thing, and he's doing it for like he has pure intention. He's just going about it the wrong way. And so it's going to be
Interesting.
harder to beat him because he is so committed. So by the time you get that far in, it just becomes easier for your brain to say, nope, I am definitely correct. And I'm going to ignore all of the evidence in front of me. The thing I was doing was right because the alternative is I killed hundreds of people. And that is a terrifying thing to have to reconcile with. I think Nawam has something going on similar to that.
Yeah, because it
That
looks like he fires said weapon
planet
and
killing weapon,
at some kind of village or some kind of it looks like homes or
not the
something
Death
like
Star, not Star Killer
right.
Base, not the Galaxy Gun, not the
Who
Eclipse,
knows?
not the Malevolent.
Right. I'm like,
My God, how many weapons have we? Not the World. What were they called? World something. World Devastator. The World Devastators. Dark Empire.
you're just making hands.
The Sun Crusher. That's another one. I can keep listing super weapons, by the way. I can probably do this for another minute without running out.
Well, let's not. And then
Ayakath.
but I do want to talk about Ethan.
The
So
Katana Fleet.
his weapon, you were like, oh, it like changes to like some silver thing. I'm like, that was giving more like dark saber vibes. Like, why?
The texture's weird.
It's weird looking, and I don't
Texture's weird
understand
looking.
what that. But then also, if we go back to the first short where Kara has the lightsaber for the first time, her lightsaber was very like clear almost, and then like turns green, but then also like extended really long and then short. Like, you know, there was like some weird like they had like it was like the rules. I don't know what the rules are. Like, I feel
See,
like the
that's
rules for these lightsabers don't make sense yet.
that's one of the things that I actually like
Yeah.
about Visions Presents and about the fact that we're getting this long form story is that fuck the rules.
Fuck the.
Fuck the rules.
I want
Like,
to know
it
the lore.
literally
Though.
doesn't matter. Like, I want to know the lore internally within the Ninth Jedi, but this is now an opportunity for me to learn new lore as it serves the story, as opposed to going, well, actually, planet killing weapons don't do that because we have established in the reference book.
Right.
Basically, the bit that I do on this podcast every fucking week when I cite something from some West End game source.
Well, yeah.
None of that matters. None of that matters. We threw all of it out. Rules mean nothing. What being a Jedi is barely relevant.
Well,
Lightsabers
I'm
work
excited.
differently.
That's why I'm excited about this, because I feel like you are going to be able to look at this and then people are going to go, well, you know, this is why like this kyber crystal means this and blah, blah, blah. This color means this. And it's like, well, no, this is not canon. This has nothing to do with the canon universe that we are set in. This is his own thing. So they're
also, the
established
lightsaber
rules
colors don't mean anything in canon.
Well, but you know what I mean.
If you
Like,
saw a Facebook graphic that said,
Right.
this is what your lightsaber color means, it was bullshit. The only thing that any of the colors mean are red means that the crystal was bled,
Right.
and white means that it purified. And other than that, they literally don't jack and or shit.
But
They
what's
kind of meant stuff in Legends, but I don't have
Right.
time to get into
Well,
that. And
what's
it does not
interesting
mean what the fucking graphic said.
But what's interesting about the trailer is like in the trailer, I think it's Ethan who says, or maybe it's Kara or Ethan or someone who goes, oh, his lightsaber is blue. That means he's a Jedi. Like, they specifically say blue.
Is he a Jedi? Yeah.
Yeah. Is he a Jedi? And I thought that's interesting. So there is a color hierarchy or something in this world.
Blue and green seem to mean Jedi.
Right.
Red means dark side user. And then the one guy who starts out as a dark side user and kind of turns back toward the light, the big guy, his was purple.
Purple, that's right.
Yeah.
But I can't remember if we were like, was he tricking the lightsaber into being red? Like, or was his always purple? You know what I mean? Like,
I think it was genuinely red. I don't think you can trick the light.
Okay, so he had to have like that intention in his heart to make it.
Yeah, he had to have that
then...
intention in his heart, and then the intention changed.
I need to rewatch
the lightsaber changed. Yeah, I really need to rewatch the first two.
The first one for sure, because we just watched the second one, so I think I'm good. But I think I definitely need to rewatch it because first one established, and then I don't know how much of the first one they're gonna show in the first episode, like, or there if at all. Like, I don't know how much they're gonna connect to it, or just assume you've already watched it and then hope for the best. You know what I mean? And I don't know how that's gonna work with this show, because we were talking about it second short, and it's like you two have watched the first two shorts to now watch this show, or can you watch this show completely blind going in?
No idea.
I'm wondering if they're going to try to explain it again first episode and try to be like, well, here's all the previously on Vision, you know, Ninth Jedi.
I almost wish there was a way that we could provide important background or textual information, maybe like in the form of words. Maybe we put them in yellow because that's a color that stands out really well, and we could put them over space because we have like a space theme. And then I know people hate reading. I understand they do, but people really do hate reading, so we got to make it interesting in some way. So here's my thought, right? We'll move them up the screen, but we also don't want to like steal it directly from Flash Gordon. So, and this is where my real brain thought comes in. What we do is we take all the important background and contextual information, make it yellow text, and we kind of slant it so that it moves kind of vertically up instead of a vertical directly up, kind of moves at about I would say maybe 115-degree angle or so up
Okay,
the
your bit
screen.
is going on too long. So
Listen, I
here's
gotta
the
fill this episode somehow.
so here's the thing. The first short did have the crawl, if you recall.
I don't, because it's been years since I watched it.
Okay, well, the first one did have an open, and
Okay,
it
well,
was
when
just
I go back and watch
explaining,
it
right? It was just
on
explaining the
Tuesday,
lore.
it will, yes. And so everybody who's whining about the fact that the TV shows and the Mandalorian and Grogu and stuff opens with a little bit of tech, I'll do that.
I'll
It's to
do it,
provide important contextual information.
and it's okay. So I'm
That's okay. That's a convention of the genre.
right, and I'm fine with that. And I actually think this is definitely going to need it, only because I think that if because some people will watch this without having seen the two shorts, they will go in blind thinking it's just a new Star Wars thing and not have watched. And even if they're just not as connected or whatever, they just don't know, or they're younger or whatever. Like there's some people just won't know that there's other things because this wasn't advertised necessarily. Other than went to Star Wars conventions or something, you would technically know
Yeah,
about
they
this. I
really
mean,
have not pushed this at all, which makes me
there's no
wonder what the
marketing.
marketing strategy for this is.
And that's why I
Like,
don't understand the whole shadow drop. It's like,
is it being marketed more in Japan?
I wouldn't
Because
know.
that happens with anime sometimes.
Yeah.
It'll be really heavily marketed in Japan and not marketed all the States.
Maybe they're banking on the fact that this will be more popular in Japan and then they don't give a shit about the American audience. So they're just like, whatever, like, it's fine.
There's got to be some weird production stuff happening on the back end with the goal of the studio, the anime studio versus the goals of Disney as the licensee.
Yeah, because
And the
right now it
question is going to
feels
be
like Disney is just a distribute. Like, it's like, you know
that
what I mean?
does
Like,
feel like what this is
it
they're
doesn't feel like
essentially
they give two
distributing it,
shits. Yeah.
which is why they're dumping it all in one. And
Yeah.
like Mandalorian and Grogu season is over. Maul season is over.
Yeah.
Ahsoka has not even started doing its season 2 lead up, and we're not going to get that till 2027 anyway. So why
Right.
would you drop Ninth Jedi all at once and then we're not getting anything else for the rest of the year?
Well, we're getting Mando and Grogu on Plus, sure, in
Well, yes, we're getting Mando and
September or
Grogu on
something.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
We will cover it when it comes to Disney Plus, but like,
But it's weird
make it
because
make
like
sense.
I'll pull up the episode. So it looks like they're due. Okay, so there is exactly 8 episodes, and I'm
Okay.
like, okay, that could have been 8 weeks. Like so,
Exactly. That's what I'm
my
saying.
theory there is that Mando and Grogu will be on Disney Plus in 8 weeks or within 8 weeks, and they don't want to ruin
Okay.
that promotion because
Yeah,
that's
I
going to
can
be their
see
big
it,
draw.
but like, and admittedly, there were a lot of people who said like, I didn't even know that Mandalorian and Grogu was a theatrical movie. There were people that were like, I thought it was a Disney Plus movie. I didn't even know it was a theatrical movie until
Right.
which it wound up like, yeah, it underperformed a little bit, but like it did better than some other supposed big blockbusters of the summer that people thought
Right.
were going to be huge blockbusters.
And it'll
Like,
do numbers on stream.
it'll do numbers on
It'll do
streaming,
numbers,
which
for
clearly
sure.
was their point.
Right, because now
So,
you have all the kids who like, okay, well, maybe I couldn't take theater to go see it, but
right.
now
The
I can,
economy's in shambles. I don't have,
right,
$50
but I can let
sitting
them sit at
around to
home and
take.
watch it 7 times
Yeah.
on streaming.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Which is fair. Yeah.
look, that's where Disney Plus excels.
Mhm.
Disney Plus excels specifically for the kid who wants to watch, Frozen every day for a year, right?
Right.
Or me who wants to put on a Star Wars movie, right?
Yeah.
Instead of them selling me one DVD one time, I can pay $15 a month and they get tons of money from me
But you
to
keep
sit there and
buying the
rewatch the
same
same
thing.
movie. I keep buying the same movie over and
Yeah.
over again. Which
Right,
reminds
which-
me, I'm going to be
yeah.
posted up in bed basically all weekend. So maybe I'll rewatch Return of the Jedi.
You're like, I'm gonna
Over the
rewatch the whole
weekend.
thing.
Maybe I'll rewatch. Yeah, maybe I'll just rewatch the whole thing. No, I gotta make a dent in this Star Trek.
No, yeah, that's true.
I gotta keep working. I'm almost halfway there, Bradley. There have been a little over 1,000 episodes released, and I'm on episode 435.
So when it comes to this, I guess my only way to end this is what are your crazy theories for the Ninth Jedi show? Like, what do we think's gonna happen? Or what's some weird thing that's gonna pop up? Because this is the first time we've ever done this where the show doesn't have any kind of connection to the actual timeline of any way, shape, or form. Like, this is just kind of like a who the fuck knows what's gonna happen show, kind of not even like a jokingly like, oh, Luke Skywalker is gonna show up. Like, no, this is genuinely like we have no fucking clue what is happening in this show.
There's gonna be a Star Destroyer.
Okay.
Or
Or
one of
their
the
version of a
adult
Star Destroyer.
crew members is going to die.
Okay.
Probably the magistrate. I don't know.
This is a hard one.
I don't know. I do it like I have no
We
point
don't-
of reference. I have no
Yeah.
point of comparison.
I feel like once it comes out, we're gonna be like, that's what this
Yeah.
is. Like,
yeah,
we
I feel
don't
like
get
it's
it
gonna
now.
make more sense once
Yeah.
I've sat there and watched the whole thing.
I think I feel weird because it's like I also wonder if they're gonna. I don't think, but I feel like they're not gonna do any. Well, we'll have to call them references now because I feel like because it's technically just in the world of Star Wars, it's not the same timeline or mention or whatever the fuck we want to call it. Like it's just not the same. So I don't know if like other characters can show up or it's like they're like allowed to use other characters. They have to use
I
only
don't think
original
so. I think
characters.
it's all original.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to want to have other characters show up.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but
Like,
you
it
never
would be
know, right?
funny if R2 and 3PO showed up at some point.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, like when, because the premise of the show
But
is
this is like
that,
hundreds of years after Rise of Skywalker.
yeah, it's supposed to be like take place. Let me look it up. Hold on, because I thought I read where it actually gives you date, timeline. Okay, see, it looks like sometime during or after. 35, 8. That doesn't. 8. Where is it on the page? I don't. We'll have to come. But
We
I,
will return to
yeah,
this.
we'll return to always,
To all of
difficult to
this.
see, always I'm sure,
Always emotion
so.
the future is. Yes.
I'm like, I don't think that's right. But no, we'll come back once we finish the rest of the Vision short. We'll come back and actually review this show once we get some time to
Yes.
sit down
So
and watch it.
so that's the plan as
Right.
Bradley has meandered us into. Quick update on the show pacing and how Gold Squadron is going to work. We're going back to Vision. Next, we're going to finish Visions. We're going to time that out. And that also gives us, we had done that just sort of in case Ninth Jedi turned out to be a week. Clearly it's not. We're getting it all at once. So as soon as we're done with Visions, we're going to go straight into the Ninth Jedi. We're going to cover all 8 episodes. They're all going to get their own. And then we're going to do it just like a normal show. And then we'll do our recap. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, we're back into Resistance.
Gotta do Mando and Grogu first.
Mando and Grogu, and then we're back into Yes.
If Ahsoka doesn't start before
Fuck me.
Because we could be in the middle of doing Resistance and Ahsoka will just shadow drop on us. I don't know if that's true. But
And we will
theoretically,
have those conversations.
yeah, well, like
between the two of us. Bradley and I spend
I'm
so
hoping we
much
can
of
at
our
least
lives
finish
arguing
Resistance
about this.
before the first season of Resistance before Ahsoka drops. That would be my hopes and
We did make it halfway through the first season, so
right. So if we can finish the
trying to
rest
get
of it,
to-
we'll be okay.
we'll like to get to that, but we'll see. We're playing this by ear.
Right.
I've heard some rumors about stuff that potentially going to be shown at D23. I don't stock in rumors, but if true, we might get a little more information.
We'll at least get a trailer or something at D23.
Fingers crossed. They're already ramping up doing press for it. I'm already seeing an interview quote.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of Amon like stuff.
Well, that's because Amon just is Ezra Bridger and just speaks. He just says words.
But he just seems to be like ramping up his little social media presence. Like he just seems to be doing a lot more. So I feel like he's ramping up the like, okay, I'm about to start doing press for the show.
He could ramp up the amount of shirtless selfies he posts on Instagram.
Yeah, but every time I text him, he doesn't listen. So.
He posts quite a lot, but let me tell you, he could stand to post more.
He could stand to post a little bit more.
Him and Cameron Monaghan really leading the way, and Star Wars leading men being occasionally shirtless.
Or could we just
on the internet?
Somebody make them kiss? Like I don't care what it is. Like just make them kiss.
Oh, I'm sure there's like adult
preferably
Ezra Bridger.
If it's in Star Wars as their character.
I want to say things about Jedi Survivor, and I can't. I can't because you haven't played them yet.
Well, I'll try to get them.
Look. It's entirely conceivable that Cal Kestis is running around by the time of Ahsoka.
I don't see why he couldn't.
It is entirely possible that Ezra comes back from Peridia and has learned some things about himself.
Right. He's also been alone for a very long time. So, things can change.
Exactly. I'm sure there's fic of this. I'm sure there's fic of older Cal Kestis and post Ahsoka Ezra. And I know what I will be doing this evening, what I will be searching for on Archive of Our Own to see if this specific fic exists.
So anyway, yeah, watch the
I
Ninth
think
Jedi.
Amon would be down to kiss a man, and we know Cameron Monaghan is.
Well, we've seen him do it.
We've seen Shameless.
We've seen him do it multiple times.
We know that he is very good. That sadly,
I get a lot of his scenes on my Twitter sometimes. They just randomly pop up once in a while, and I'm like, oh, there's Cameron. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, watch the Ninth Jedi. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yes, we will cover it.
And,
it will be fun.
We'll get to that in a couple weeks. But until then, enjoy the show. Pluggables. Quick shout out to some of the stuff that I've been working on. After Inch Reality TV, I've had the chance to behind the scenes, Married to Medicine on Bravo, and right now my show, season 2 of Temptation Island, is on Netflix. And then I'm currently working on another show for Bravo in Texas that may or may not come out this fall. And then I have another show that I still have not seen a trailer for. I assumed it was supposed to come out this
Is this the
summer.
dating show?
Yeah, and it just hasn't dropped yet. So I'm
I
like,
need that one to come
I
out. I
don't
need that
know.
one to come out so bad.
Hopefully it comes out soon.
You
Like
have
I
no
haven't
idea how
seen anything
badly I
about
need
it.
that
So,
one.
but I'll keep you updated.
Hey, if you want to see the facial expression that Bradley just cut out of the show when I rambled for an extended period of time and needed to shut up, but also hear what that rambling was, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Gold Squadron Gaze. We only had like a 30-minute episode, so we didn't really have time to plug it. But for $3 a month, you can join our co-pilot tier, which gives you uncut versions of the episodes, with all my ramblings left in, and video version of the episode, where you can watch Bradley give me shut the fuck up face. You can also find me, as mentioned earlier in the episode, on the Star Wars TTRP podcast For Light and Dice. That is a Star Wars actual play podcast with me and 5 other queer content creators rolling dice and having a great time in the High Republic era. You can also find queer books that I write. Those are called Beach House Studios. Those are available on Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, and I do have an announcement this week with regards to I am doing a newsletter drive. I have a personal website that is charles-w-rogers.com, where you can sign up for the newsletter. That is primarily where I communicate about my book stuff. I'm running a drive. This episode is slated to come out August the 3rd. If you are signed up by the end of the day, August the 13th, so about a week and a half, I am sending out an early version of what I call a short story. It is basically a novel from the upcoming Beach House anthology. That's a bunch of short stories that I'm going to publish after the final book is out. So if you head over to that website, or you go over to my socials at CWRogers6 on everything, the Gold Squadron socials usually link to me and Bradley's personal socials. You could, or that I'm tagged in the videos, you can find it there, and you sign up for the newsletter. On the 14th, you will get that short story delivered to you, and so you basically get a free novella. It is best if you've read the first 3 books in the series first. I am told you can read the short story absent of but. This is all preparing for more announcements, which will be forthcoming in the next few weeks. I can say for certain. Things are starting to move. Things are starting to move on that front. So again, charles-w-rogers.com. Sign up for the newsletter. If you signed up by the end of the day on the 13th, on the 14th, you'll get a short story delivered direct to your inbox. And yes, it is the short story with the backstory of my favorite character, because obviously I'm...
Speaking of short stories, this pluggable was longer than the episode.
Boy, look, you and I can vamp for a really long time, but there's only so much one thing you can do right now is run our socials. Thank you for listening to Gold Squadron Gaze. Did Charles fuck something up? Email us at goldsquadrongaze@gmail.com and let us know. You can follow us on BlueSky, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Gold Squadron Gaze. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Gold Squadron Gaze, where we post full episodes of this podcast. If you like the podcast, you can also rate us and review us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Please join us next week and every week for another episode of Gold Squadron Gaze. Because I was a Bible kid before I was a Star Wars lore nerd kid. And I replaced all of my Bible scholarship with Star Wars lore nerd stuff.
I did the same thing, except I was watching Supernatural, and I let things that happened in Supernatural replace the things that happen in the Bible in my brain. And so now
fair.
My lore for the Bible is Supernatural also happened. So that's like, unfortunately, my perception of the stories and things that happen in that book, unfortunately,
tainted
now
somewhat
all
by the presence of
painted
Sam and Dean
somewhat,
Winchester.
yeah, and Castiel.